It's me and you, the rest of the way, for the last time on a Friday as we gear up for Eagles-Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Unbelievable. 215-592-9494. That's the phone number to hop on board. All I can visualize every single second that I'm awake is Saquon Barkley being a machine and having an effort that goes down in NFL history as one of the all-time greatest performances on the biggest stage. That's all I can visualize because I really think it's happening. For the first time, think about it. Pat Mahomes is going to look across the way and see something that is just as lethal as the Pat Mahomes experience, and I don't think he gets to see that very often. This year he does. This year, the Saquon Barkley dominance is just as rare, and it's just as elite, and it's just as special as any crazy Pat Mahomes moment that you've ever seen. Pat Mahomes isn't used to that. Wait until you see what occurs when 26 gets the ball, and not only that, when you know Spags has done everything in his power over the last 2 weeks to prepare to stop him, and you know how demoralizing it is when you realize 2 quarters in that whatever you dialed up, plan A, plan B, plan C, and plan D are just getting exposed, and Saquon's taking it to the house, ripping through 60-yard runs. You know, it's going to be hilarious to see him do it on the biggest stage, celebrating, putting up points left and right, and running through Spags' defense like it's Swiss cheese after knowing the time and effort that Spags spent to do his very best to slow him down. Let me tell you something for free. You can't slow him down. It's impossible to slow him down. And I think about it every day. I think about it every second. And I just can't wait to witness it because I know deep down in my core that it's going to happen on Sunday night. All right, so here's my question for you. And this all started because, look, all week long, I had so many of my group chats getting fired up saying, I can't wait. And I'm right there with them, right? It's going to be super fun. It's going to be electric. But now that we're so close, the tone has shifted a little bit in some of these chats. Not that they're no longer excited. Of course they are. But some more anxiety's involved now. It's real. It's real. A couple more sleeps and the game will finally be here. And I think it's starting to shift more into all right, I'm getting a little anxious. All right, I'm getting a little bit of some anxiety going on. I'm thinking about the game a little more now. And all right, I know it's coming. It went from I can't wait to I have some anxious stuff going on in my body. So I want to know out there, as we roll into the weekend and the game is getting closer at 215-592-9494, are you closer to I can't wait, I'm so excited, this is going to be phenomenal? Or as you get closer, not that you're not confident. This isn't about confidence. It's just about, all right, is the natural anxiety starting to flow in your body? Because it's real now. It's no longer, we got 14 days of anticipation. We got to sit through multiple weeks of people dissecting these games, and we got to watch the team fly out, and then we'll get all these social media posts of the team doing media availability. It's no longer that. Now, the next time we're discussing this team legitimately, it's about putting the hand in the dirt. So are you more anxious as we roll into the weekend? Or are you more excited? 215-592-9494. Of course, we can break down the game as well. But you know where I am. I haven't wavered at all throughout any of the conversations we've had. I am so excited because I think there's only one result that's going to happen on Sunday. I think there's only one way that this game is going to play out, and that's going to be the Philadelphia Eagles winning a second Super Bowl for their franchise. So I don't have any anxiety. I don't have any nerves. I don't have any fear. I don't have any second guessing. It's going to be the Saquon Barkley show, and the defense is going to be spectacular, and Jalen's going to have an equivalent throwing game to what went down against the Commanders in the NFC Championship game. I don't think there's any other outcome. I really don't. It's that simple for me. But that's not how everybody feels, and I totally acknowledge that. So I would really love to hear from you. That's one. Two, I do want to give you guys some audio as we set the tone for today's show. All right, because one of my big reasons why I have the faith and belief that I do is because of the pain that this organization went through and the pain that Nick Sirianni and Jordan Mailata and a lot of these guys that were here 2 years ago, that feeling that they left that field with. And it is something that stays with you forever. It stings. It sucks. It's horrible. And you don't ever want to feel that way again. And when you see this football team across the way, the Kansas City Chiefs, knowing they were the team to do it to you, you get a chance to get revenge. There's something that really inspires you when that's the case. So here's some audio I want you to listen to. First is Sal Pal on ESPN talking about the Eagles' approach, specifically Nick Sirianni, some of the guys on the roster. Here's what Sal Pal had to say about the Eagles' mentality.
Let's dive into this game here. You spoke with two of the main characters in this epic season, Saquon Barkley and Nick Sirianni. What did they tell you?
2 words, Greeny. Unfinished business. Specifically, Saquon Barkley. I talked to him one-on-one on opening night Monday at the Superdome. And he told me during the year, listen, I want to rewrite my story. But it's not only about going to the Super Bowl, it's about winning the Super Bowl. And Nick Sirianni remembers all too well, Super Bowl 57, they didn't get the job done, fell short by 3 points, and he has stressed the fact that they've got to get it done this time and keep to their core values in this football game, tough details together.
I love it. I really do, and that is beautiful. And I also love that Saquon could find a way, while he wasn't there to actually experience the painful loss a few years ago, just by his own story and his own way of leaving the Giants and going to Howie Roseman afterwards and getting paid and knowing it was all about winning a championship. He found a way himself to internalize it and find a way to be on the same level of the ones who did suffer the loss in Super Bowl 57. He's doing it in his own way to match that same mindset, which is no surprise now that we see what type of special athlete Saquon is. But he's found a way to sort of maximize his story and his internal, fire and all, and it's just remarkable. So there's Sal Pal on the way that the Eagles are looking at this as unfinished business. Now, let's take a listen to Jordan Mailata and Darius Slay. This is courtesy of our very own Ashlyn Sullivan of NBC Sports Philadelphia as well. This is them talking about what it was like when they were on the field walking off with the wrong colored confetti dropping on them.
It sucked. It sucked. You reached the last game of the season, the big moment, the big bowl, the big dance, and to have the other team's confetti falling on you, that really sucked. That sucked.
So you use it as fuel this year?
Have enough motivation this year.
That's not a good feeling. I don't want to get that feeling again, but that's not a good feeling. I low-key try to beat it and run inside before it landed on me.
And we know that Jalen Hurts, his background on his phone, walking off the field, seeing the red, white, and yellow confetti falling on his face. So I love the mentality of this team. I don't believe they are going to be denied. It starts with Saquon Barkley. I think we're going to see an all-time performance. We've already witnessed him be a stud in so many different games before, but on this stage, something he's been waiting for to have a chance to play in his whole life, since going to the New York Giants in his career? Come on. He gets a chance to play behind this offensive line, to play with AJ and Devontae, who needs to be respected as well, to play with the number one defense led by Vic Fangio. I don't give a damn about Andy Reid. I don't care about Pat Mahomes and what he's capable of doing. When you put together the full package that is Philadelphia Eagles football in 2024, I do not see a way that they do not come out victorious with another Super Bowl. All the losing in 2 years ago in that Super Bowl and the pain and suffering and the determination to not have that happen again, it works wonders when it comes to motivation, and that's the way I see this thing playing out. So as we get to the phones, we can talk about the game, your feeling on how it's going to play out. But I want to know, as we roll into the weekend, are you getting more anxious? Is there more anxiety as we get ready for the weekend? Or are you super excited for the game and ready to go? There's no wrong answers. If you have some anxiety, that's okay. It's normal. It's a big game. I get it. I totally understand. I'm not there, but I get it. It's not anything to be ashamed of. Doesn't mean you don't have confidence in the group. It doesn't mean you don't feel great about who they are. It's just natural. It's a big game. It's a big moment. It's a definer for this era of Eagles football with Jalen and Nick. Because if you lose, now it's you lost two. All right, you lost two in your 2 trips in 3 years.
All the anxiety that you're lacking, I'm making up for it.
Okay, so you're big-time anxiety.
I'm big-time anxious.
Okay.
Some of it is just, I'm just antsy. I just want to get to the Super Bowl. So some of it is just I'm tired of waiting. I'm tired of going through the scenarios in my head. But the more that I think about it and the more that we talk about it and the more that I read the stats and see the media day stuff and just think about 2 years ago, that Super Bowl, I just get anxious. I get anxious and I get antsy that I just want the game to be here and I want it to be underway.
Okay.
So that's most of my anxiousness, but then also just general, they have to win this football game. I tell myself, I repeat it in my head probably every 20 minutes, just they have to win the game. Just they have to win the game.
I think that's fair because, as I was just alluding to, if you don't, it opens up a can of worms of they are the team that keep getting close but can't actually get over the hump. So that's where some of the anxiety, I think, does sneak in for some who are waiting for the game. But guess what? You're right. They have to win the game. They know they have to win the game. They're going to win the game, and I feel it in my bone marrow. They are going to win this football game. So let's go to the phones. Really looking forward to talking to everybody out there at 215-592-9494. Let's go to Mark in Levittown. Yo, Mark, you're on WIP.
Yo, what's going on, Brodes? I just first want to say I first found out about you on TikTok, and I'm a huge fan of your sports points. I love that you talk Flyers a lot and stuff. So,
well, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. But it's crazy that you mentioned like the aura of anxiety that's going on because, honest to God, this morning when I woke up, I've been literally like you, dude. You could have talked me into running through a brick wall about how confident I am that the Eagles are going to win this Super Bowl because, like you said, they are the personification of like the scenario where like somebody put you in jail and like in the wrong way, so like you're working out with their picture hanging on the wall for 13 years, and you come out ready to get your give them their coming ups. That's them right now, dude. Like there's plenty enough players on this team that were in that Super Bowl that we lost to them in the first time, and this is going to be Ali versus Frazier 2, man. And I'm excited and I'm confident. But this morning around 10 o'clock, I was doing my daily catch up on the headlines from the YouTube producers of Eagles Media, and I got like in my own thought about the Super Bowl and the mass that it has this year. And it drove me to a point of an anxiety that I have yet to shake off that literally got me anxious, stomach sick. You know what I'm saying? Like I literally messaged my friend who's he's not even an Eagles fan. He's actually a Cowboys fan, but he's an NFL fan. You know what I mean? He knows the Cowboys are who they are. But he said, I messaged him, I said, yo, dude, is it me or is like, am I crazy for having the feeling like it's me that's going to be throwing for 300 yards this Sunday? Or that has to. And he goes, dude, funny you say that. He goes, I don't like Kansas City or the Eagles, and I feel that way. Like this Super Bowl has mass, like interstellar mass. You know what I mean? For multiple reasons. No matter who wins, history is going to be made. And you know what? I think if anyone out there is like me that has the anxiety, revert back to Monday. when you were like me running through that brick wall. Why did we feel so confident on Monday? Because we got Saquon Barkley. We got Jalen Hurts. We got A.J. Brown. And they got a good team, but our O-line and their D-line, it's a mismatch. And our D-line and their O-line is a mismatch, both in our favor. I think it's going to come down to turnovers, which we're not, knock on wood, everybody. But, hey, we've been really good with that. But I think really, 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 and I felt this way before we matched up with the Commanders for the NFC Championship. I said, I feel like we're going to run them up the board. And my stepfather, diehard Eagles fan, he goes, I don't know, man. The Commanders are good this year. I said, I know they are, but I feel like there's nobody better than the Eagles right now. So you know what? I was scared then. I'm scared now, but I stuck to my guns. Eagles are going to do a number because they got to get that ring back. We got unfinished business, Brodes.
Yes, we do, Mark. Unfinished business. And thank you so much for the call. Unfinished business is the best way to describe it. And look, back in 2017, the anxiety, I couldn't even walk. That whole day, I had to sit down all day. I couldn't even stand. I was so nervous. Every second of the day, it was the longest day of my life. It took forever to get to the game. I couldn't even do anything. I literally remember sitting there. At the time, I was living with a couple of my buddies. We were all together at our place. And I'm like, fellas, I'm down and out. All right, listen, I can't do a damn thing. I can't move a muscle. This is torture. It's horrible. And then during the game itself, it was just a painful watch. And they won that game. So just because you feel a certain type of way during it, maybe to the Eagles' credit, I'll say this. Maybe I'm this comfortable because now I'm used to being here, right? You go to 3 Super Bowls in 17, in 22, and now in 24, regardless how they ended, once you get used to the big dance, I think maybe there's a different approach throughout the week, throughout the weekend, throughout the day itself, right? Maybe. Or it's just delaying the inevitable, where I still feel that way on Sunday, but instead of it starting to hit my stomach on a Thursday, Friday leading up to Sunday, maybe I don't have any feelings until Sunday specifically, and then Sunday I'm all out of whack. I don't know. I'll find out in a couple of days. But yeah, I mean, in 2017, that anxiety hit big time. But the exercise that I want to tell Mark to do, and anybody listening doing, if you do feel the anxiety for the game is getting so strong that it's starting to play a role in, am I now less confident in my squad? Get back to the basics. Let's talk football. They have the best running back in the world. They have the better offensive line. They have the better defensive line. They have the better overall defense. They have the better wide receivers. Tight end, fair. You want to say Kelsey? Fair. But I'm just saying, you go across the board and talk about pros and cons for each team, you have significantly more pros on the Eagles side than you do the Chiefs side. If you want to get back to the basics to find some sort of comfortability in there. And that's what I would do. All right, let's go to Saeed in Connecticut. What's up, Saeed?
Hi, Brode. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm feeling great. I'm not anxious. I'm not anxious at all. I'm pretty confident about our win and our chances on Sunday. I think we got this one. It's been a lot of talk about how we're going to do it. And I think for me, if we establish the run, we stay disciplined, follow the protocols that we've done all season long. And I think we should be good. I don't think we should change anything. Why change, a recipe that's been, working for us? Why fix something that's not broken? And I usually don't go by stats when it comes to predicting the game or the outcome of the game. I'm actually, I go by spirit, by soul. I think we got this one. And my prediction for the game, as far as points, I would say probably the Eagles will go 41-28. That's what I have for the game. And also today I just discovered that John Madden, God bless his soul, was actually a player. He played for the Eagles. I did not know that. So I contribute that fact that Philadelphia always, breeded it's a tree of famous athletes, whatever you want to call it, famous, people, and one of them is John Madden. So that hit me really hard. And the late John Madden. So I think that's going to be a good thing. It's a good spirit to have on the Eagles side. coming this Sunday.
All right. Listen, all good stuff. I appreciate it. 41 points. Now, if you're scoring 41 points in this game, this is an Eagles dub. Because the way this defense is playing, the way this defense is absolutely killer, there's no way that Pat Mahomes and Vic Fangio, or Pat Mahomes against Vic Fangio, is putting up 40 plus. All right? Because really, if the Eagles are scoring 41 in that prediction, that means the defense is probably turning over the Chiefs' offense a few times. And then to the Eagles' credit, they're making Kansas City pay. Just like they made the Chiefs, or the Commanders pay. Excuse me, I'm getting all my teams all bobbled up. But you get my point. You made the Chiefs, no, the Commanders pay in the NFC Championship game, and you're going to make the Chiefs pay on Sunday if you turn them over a lot. So, hey, you put up 41. I'm all good with that. That's an Eagles dub big time. I don't even know if you need 41. All right, let's go to T in Overbrook. Yo, T.
Hi, Brodes.
What's up?
I'm feeling I'm not going to say anxious, but I appreciate what we're going into. I feel like this is a very important moment for the whole team and for Jalen. And I appreciate you and what you have been bringing to 94.1, just being positive and believing in the team. I think we've, spent the last couple of games so anxious and worried about what the next team is going to bring to us, but we can appreciate what we bring to the next team, what our team is capable of doing, especially after we scored 55 on Washington, So I'm having hopes that this score is going to be something that's going to shock us. You never know.
You're right. You never know. And thank you so much for those words. I greatly appreciate it. But I keep going back to it, T. This Saquon Barkley thing, it's just incredible. And for as much as we sit back in awe whenever we're watching Pat Mahomes play in the playoffs without it being against the Eagles, and we see all these special plays that make no sense, we actually have someone who does the same thing. And for the first time, I really do believe Pat Mahomes is going to look across the way and realize, they have something that normally is the difference maker for us. Whatever separates the Chiefs from the rest is that Pat Mahomes special magic. Saquon has that special magic this year. So I don't know if the Chiefs are going to really be able to counter what Saquon does. And then, that's why I just feel so confident about it is their defensive coordinator is going to do everything in his power to try and slow him down. And once they realize it's impossible to, you got to think that that's so deflating. And then he pops off 2 60-yard runs to the house. I mean, I'm getting excited over here, T.
Can I ask you a question?
Of course.
Are we going to be able to cover Travis Kelce?
It might be one of those things where he's going to get some numbers, but you live with him getting some numbers. It won't destroy you over the 4 quarters. It's like if you're playing basketball and KD scores 32, but he works for his 32 and he has to take a lot of shots to get his 32. You can kind of live with it, something like that maybe.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good way to think about it. Thank you.
Of course. Well, thank you, T. You kidding me? I didn't do anything. I'm just here. You made the call. You're the excellence. 215-592-9494 as we are just getting started on this Friday night. I can't wait to talk to all of you. Seriously, it's going to be a real fun show, as it always is. Rolling into Super Bowl 59 weekend, my question for you, are you feeling more anxious now that we are at the back end of the week, or are you more excited? I'm more excited. But it's okay if you're more anxious. It's just more of the nature of the game being big. More than it is, I look at you and think you don't feel confident about your team. It's not a confidence about the team thing, because I totally understand you can have that nervousness in your stomach and still really like the Eagles' chances in this football game. It's a big game. It's a huge game. It's the Super Bowl. It's a big opportunity to change this franchise forever. So normally when the stakes are that high, it's going to take a toll on your mind and your body. And I get that. So are you way more anxious now that we are leaking into the weekend, or are you just excited? I'm just excited. I can't wait. What say you, though? 215-592-9494. Coming up next, I do want to dive into some of these Jalen Hurts numbers against what Spags has brought to the table in the blitzing department and much more. Can't wait. It's me. It's you. It's 94 WIP.